A very good morning to you, my dear viewers, and welcome to the Morning Digest, your favorite show that comes to you every Thursday morning from the Elevate Kenya studios in Nairobi. And today we are blessed to have a guest that came from, the newly, I don't know which words to use, but the newly created city, or rather the town, the county that has been promoted to the status of a city. And before we move on to, before I welcome the guest, I just want to make a statement about my grandma, very interesting one, who used to tell me that all she wanted in life was to educate her children so that they can read a signpost from one city to another so that they may know directions. That was her, her greatest desire because of the status of not being able to afford maybe higher education for her children. My mother told me her greatest desire was for all her children to be able to go to at least Form 4. That was her desire. As for me, I've always prayed that they can go to the highest level that they desire if money is not a problem. And so where am I going with this? Today, as we talk about parenting in the COVID era, we are looking at a situation where we need to ask ourselves, is it possible that we are passing down what we got from our parents and our grandparents? So today, as we talk about parenting in the COVID era, we have a beautiful guest in the show that is a woman that wears many hats. And because of the many hats she wears, I will allow her to introduce herself, but I will tell you her name. Her name is Regina Wafula. I got it right.
You're right.
Welcome to the show, Regina.
Thank you.
And please tell us anything and everything you want to tell us about yourself before we roll on the show. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Anne, I appreciate.
Yeah.
So it's an honor. And I love doing this. I love talking about children, and I love talking about mental issues, how best we can stabilize, normalize things that have gone haywire to some point. And I'm Regina Wafula. I'm a born-again believer.
Amen.
I'm a strong believer of CITAM.
Yes.
I've been in leadership in the church, and I appreciate, especially for children, as HOD, Head of Children Department. Yeah. I'm a mother of 3 lovely boys. Yes. 16 years, 13 years, and a 3-year-old.
All right.
And I'm honored. I'm married to one Reverend Michael Wafula.
Yeah.
Wherever he is, I say hi.
Yeah, I believe he's watching, or he will watch later.
Hopefully. Yeah, I come from Nakuru, but I've been brought up in Nairobi.
All right.
So I went to Nakuru by virtue of marriage.
Okay.
I'm a former banker.
Yeah.
And when the calling came, I switched.
Yes, yes.
And now I'm a counseling psychologist. I love what I do, empowering people to understand themselves better, to be able to solve those issues that look impossible. Yeah. And, bringing somebody from that hole to realizing who they are and achieving their potential. Yeah. For me, that is my greatest joy. All right. It's very rewarding for me and satisfying. Yeah. Other than that, I'm a director of Jawabu Counseling and Therapy Solutions. Yeah. We are based in Nakuru, and we also coming into Nairobi, full blast, by the grace of God. Yes. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. Yeah. I'm also an author. Yeah. I've written 2 books for children. Yes. Emotional intelligence for ages 5 to 10 and 11 to 17. Just for children to be aware of their emotions, of these feelings, to understand them, to manage them, so that they're able also to appropriately, so that they're also able to understand, to empathize with the other person.
Wow.
Yes.
That's quite a comprehensive introduction.
Yes.
And I think you've done it better than I would have done it, yeah?
Really?
Because sometimes who knows themselves better than the person.
You're right.
So, it's amazing. And first of all, congratulations for, authoring the book, Me and My Emotions as I Grow. And you have the other one called Emotional Intelligence for Children, a book for ages 5 to 10. Correct. For a long time, people have said if you want to hide anything from an African, hide it in a book. And I think that's a myth that is totally being demolished, if I can say that.
And it should
because Africans are reading.
Oh, yes.
And Africans are writing.
All right.
Yeah, for the longest time, I've read a lot of books from the Western world, and thanks to God for them having been able to write. But today, I'm seeing a lot of African authorship, and God bless you for that.
Amazing.
And I'm
Thank you.
sure your work will go far.
Thank you.
So now let's talk about parenting in the COVID era, and begin by saying that, first of all, parenting is a blessing.
Oh, yes.
There are people that seek God in tears that they may get a child so that they can parent. Parenting is not a curse. Parenting is not something that people should dread. But because of the times we are living in, parenting has become quite a challenge.
True.
So what can you say, especially in this era, to parents? Because there seems already they say the dice has been cast. Everybody's blaming the parents.
Yes.
Yeah, what would you say generally as we begin about parenting in the 21st century?
The 21st century.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anne, for that.
Yeah.
Me and you, we are parents.
Yes.
And the challenges are surmountable. They are there.
Definitely.
And I believe as a parent, and even as individuals, and this is what I always tell people, I've been in the corporate world.
Yeah.
In the corporate world, we set targets, we strategize, and we ensure we achieve.
Yes.
But when it comes to the home front,
yes.
are we intentional?
Wow.
Are we intentional to ensure that the strategies in the home front will work?
Yeah.
So what happens? Either we neglect our responsibilities or we offload to other people. So what happens in our family front? Because of that, there's a gap.
Yes.
Our children feel they don't belong.
Yes.
Why? Mommy is busy. Me and you, we are career women. We are busy.
Yeah.
Dad is equally busy.
Yeah.
Maybe even absent. So what happens to this child? They are brought up by a nanny.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming nannies. They are wonderful people, blessed people.
Yeah.
But what are we putting in the mind of this child?
Yes.
And you know, a nanny will not instill values and discipline to a certain extent.
Yes.
A parent can.
Yes.
So what do we need to do in this 21st century? As much as the challenges are there, they've always been there. It is a cycle in this life.
Yes.
Our grandmothers had their own challenges. Our parents had their own challenges. We are having our own challenges. The only thing is for us to embrace and look for a way out.
Yes.
Let's not look like we are doomed. You see now the schools are being burned down.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, these children are wayward. Where do they belong?
Yeah.
To our own homes.
Yeah.
So what do we need to do? We need to step in and be intentional
Yeah. Yeah.
to make things right. It's never too late.
It's never too late.
It's never too late.
I like that. I mean, you've mentioned something that is so important that I don't know how many parents think about it. That we should strategize.
Yes.
At the beginning of every year, every corporate sets goals
Yes.
to achieve.
Yes.
They are called achievables.
Yes.
But when it comes to parenting, it's like gone. There's a movie they used to say gone with the wind.
Yes, something
or
like-
something.
yes.
So the children watasonga tu watalan wakisonga.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think there's something you're telling any parent and future parent that's watching
Oh, yes.
that we should be strategic.
Yes, intentionally strategic.
Intentionally strategic.
Yes.
And there's something I believe, and this is my personal opinion, you don't have to take it as a gospel truth, but there's something I always say when we are looking for nannies for our children,
Yes.
and particularly as I target this message to the parents who have young children, what do? We send the closest auntie.
Yes.
Go to Shago, ukipata msichana mzuri nilete.
Nilete.
Mzuri is relative.
Exactly.
So like you can entrust, like someone said, you can lock your bedroom as you go to work,
Yes.
but you leave your baby.
Can you imagine?
You get?
Can you imagine?
So
Excuse me.
being sorry about that. So as we talk about strategically, what was the word?
Intentionally strategic in our
Intentionally.
home front.
In our home front.
Yes.
So because some women are career women and they cannot be there to like be there 24/7, watch the child and things like that. I think that when you mention nannies, it is a very key thing. What advice would you give to parents, especially on that front? Because if I'm leaving the house at 6, I'm coming back at 8, especially in the city of Nairobi. I mean, the child is dozing. Some are asleep. I don't get to meet them. What's your advice, especially getting a nanny? What kind of nanny? How do you go about it?
You know, And sometimes because you're in a crisis,
Yes.
you just speak any.
Yes.
Ule anapita tu nasema sawa tu kuja shike mtoto niende
Kabisa,
kazini. You see,
kabisa,
we
yeah.
value what we are doing. We don't value these children that the Lord has entrusted to us.
Yes.
When a nanny comes to you, there are few questions you ask here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah? Try and find out, even if it's an auntie who was brought.
Yeah.
Because we've realized even to date, somebody atakwambia ni wajirani, but when you go to find out,
Yes.
hakuna jirani,
Hakuna.
hakuna jirani.
Hakuna.
It is all twisted up
Yes.
because somebody wants a job. And then the other thing, these nannies that we're entrusting to our children, how are we treating them?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
You're eating the nice foods, so to speak.
Yes.
Ya anajipikia yake kando.
Okay.
It's not, that is a human being.
Yeah.
Ametoka mahali.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing, food is the worst thing to deny anyone. So why don't we just share this? Some people lock the fridge.
Sure.
Really?
In this age and time.
And you're leaving a 2-year-old with her. Really?
Yeah.
Or you even measure. The people who measure and they leave the measured ones in the kitchen,
Yeah.
the rest of the bulk in the room.
Yeah.
And it is locked.
Imagine. And you're
Honestly.
leaving your lovely baby with them.
This is a human being. Can we
Yeah.
treat them well? They'll treat our children well.
Yes.
So when you're doing an interview to one, seek the Lord.
Amen.
Seek the Lord.
Yeah.
He has
Like
a way of,
seriously
like
seek the Lord.
I'm telling you, because you're bringing somebody to the family altar.
Yes.
Who are you
Yes.
bringing to the family
To the
altar?
family altar.
Who are you bringing to instill values?
Yeah.
No, actually, not to instill, to enforce.
To enforce.
To enforce what you've already instilled in that child.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I hear you completely, because before we even get to the point where, you know, a child is banning a school, let's look at, or the child is influencing others to ban the school. Let's deal with the foundation.
Yes.
Let's deal with the foundation.
You're right, you're right.
What's your take on the feeling that today's parents are hands off?
Okay.
Like, the child wants this, you can have it. The child wants to go wherever, you can go. Basically, there are no controls in the parent of today.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that's the case, but there's a feeling generally that the parents of today are hands off. Yeah.
I don't think they are hands off per se. The reason is we are all very busy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, and again, it depends on what parenting style.
Yes.
You know, there are many styles
Yeah.
for parenting in a home. You can be authoritative, you can be authoritarian, you know, where you say the rules are written down,
Yeah.
you know, follow them to the letter.
To the letter.
You break those rules, I'm going to deal with you accordingly. You
Yes.
see?
Yes.
But you're not explaining to the child, why not?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're not explaining why not.
Yeah.
Those rules, it's like they're written down. Follow them to the letter.
Yeah.
No reason, no explanation.
Yeah.
You see, you
Yeah.
can also be permissive. You know, just do whatever. It is okay. It is okay. You don't have rules. You,
Yes.
you're-
Parent.
yeah. You don't have boundaries
Yeah.
in your home. Again, what are you exposing your child to?
Yeah.
Are you telling this child in the society there are no rules? So what happens?
Exactly.
We are seeing the results.
Then they get to a world there and then they discover you
Yes.
can be told no.
Yeah.
Very emphatically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we've seen it.
Okay.
Even in relationships.
Yeah.
You tell someone no and they're thinking, huh?
So-
I've never had it.
Exactly. So if I can take you back to the story I shared at the beginning, whereby many parents actually pass on what they were. Nobody comes with a manual to tell you
No.
after you have, carried your bundle of joy from whatever hospital you're coming from.
Yes.
Nobody tells you, okay, rule number 1, when
Yes.
the child turns 2 years,
Yes.
no tantrums. Do not allow tantrums. But later we are just seeing a child is throwing tantrums, messing the whole class. So, I mean, how can parents deal with what I'm handing over to my child what was handed over to me?
Yeah.
And I'm saying this with a reason. There are places where there's no communication.
Yeah.
People shout at each other.
Yes.
They talk at each other. So it's like they don't talk to each other.
No.
So how do you help this parent not to talk at the child?
Again, that is the parenting styles we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And you see what, Anne? We need to come to a place, because ideally there is no manual.
Yes.
There's no manual. As you've said, what was handed over to us by our parents, we hand over.
Yeah.
I always give this analogy of long time.
Yeah.
When a mother gave birth to a child, she was given how many months off everything. Her work is to be fed.
Traditionally?
Yes. To be
maybe
fed.
3, 4, 5
yeah.
months.
To be, and the idea was for her to to instill the values and the ethos
Yes.
and the beliefs of that community.
Yes.
So the mother would, you know, suckle the baby
Yeah.
as she's looking into the eyes of the baby
Yeah.
and singing those folklores.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
And those folklores had lessons in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nowadays, we are on phone and we are breastfeeding.
Okay.
Hatuoni hata hakuna eye contact na mtoto.
Yeah.
So what is happening to our children? Hakuna
They
emotions.
feel so detached.
Yeah, so detached,
Yeah.
abandoned.
Yeah.
They can't even express themselves.
Yeah.
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 So I think it's a high time we change the narrative. How do you change the narrative? Creating awareness in churches, in the women groups, in our communities, in our workplaces. We need to change the narrative so that we can stop seeing what we are seeing.
Yeah.
It is actually a ticking bomb. We've not seen anything yet.
Yeah.
So if we do not manage these things now,
Yeah.
one to us. But there's hope.
Yeah. There is.
There is hope. Yeah.
You
So there's
just-
no manual.
Yeah.
There's no
It's-
manual.
yeah.
It is each one of us just trying to look at the best way possible.
Yeah.
If you turned out well, what did mom and dad do to you?
Exactly.
And even if it was not both parents, that one single parent,
Yeah.
what did they do to you, or what did they instill in you, or train you to who you are today? So why can't we be able to, you know, transfer
Yeah.
the same to our children,
Yeah.
lovingly with care? Of course, I know I'm not underestimating those who've come from dysfunctional homes again. That is another challenge. But it is never too late.
Yeah.
Seek for help from counselors, and I believe you're going to be okay.
Amen. Amen. And a research that was done, and a lot of research studies have been done about inmates, especially in American prisons. Maybe in your field as a psychologist, maybe somebody should do a research in Kenya and look at the family tree of the inmates, especially men in Kenyan prisons. So the study that was done showed that most of the men the inmates in American prisons had absentee fathers. Either their moms were divorced, single, deserted, or whatever. And that tells you that men play a key role
Yes.
in the life of a child, not to underrate the power of a woman. In fact, I think mothers are better disciplinarians sometimes,
Yes.
depending, than men, because the dad will just look at a child
Yes.
and the child will drop and everything they were doing.
Yeah, right.
There's, you know,
Yes.
but why is it that most of the study that was done indicated that most of the inmates in American prisons had missing fathers?
Okay.
The role of a father.
The role-
I know you're speaking as a woman.
Yes.
But now, from your knowledge as a psychologist.
Let's not go far to the US.
Yes.
Here in Kenya.
Yes.
I worked briefly at the juvenile,
Yes.
and most of the people in the juvenile are young boys. 9 to about 17 years.
Yes.
9 to 17 years.
Yeah.
And the only thing those kids are crying out for, how can I get a father figure?
Oh, my.
I don't know my father. My father doesn't care about me. Those are the challenges.
Yes.
So it is not far away from us. It is here with
Right
us.
here.
Yes, there's one child who told me, I don't even know my birthday. So after I was able to go through with him in counseling sessions, he told me, no one has even ever told me happy birthday.
Oh, my.
No one has ever hugged me, not even my mother or my father. So it is not out there, it is here,
Right
with, us.
here with us.
Yes, and majority, 70% is a boy child.
The boy child.
The boy
So,
child.
in fact, now you being a Kenyan
Yes.
is giving us real statistics of the Kenyan society.
It is bad.
Whoa, I think the fathers that are watching
Yes.
and future fathers, because the young, thank God for those of you that are hearing this information and you're not fathers yet. I believe that even that aspect of a father being there, I mean, the other day I also had the same from a young person that says that he never remembers ever having been hugged by his dad.
Imagine.
And nobody can think that a hug is a big deal.
Can you imagine?
Just a hug.
Just a hug.
You know?
Yes.
So it's like the only time you're corrected is when you do something wrong.
Yes.
But nobody ever affirms you to tell you you've improved. That Kamani with 5 marks. You've done me proud.
Nothing.
At least you've not gone backwards, you know? So, I mean, it's really quite something that parents should think about. In our busy schedules, let's create time.
We need to create time. We need to be intentional.
Yeah.
And we just need to be intentional as parents. Whether you're older or younger,
Yes.
or planning to,
Yes.
you need to be intentional
You need
to
to
take
be.
care of that family unit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about media. in the era of parenting, we are having a crisis of some sort. And it's like the media has become everything. In fact, everything to an extent that they say that the media is stronger than the church, the school, and the family put together. That's how much the media has had an influence, to an extent that parents today are feeling almost helpless in the face of the media.
Yes.
So what can parents do to not be overtaken by events, especially those that have kids in their early ages, where they can at least do something?
You see what, Anne? In the home, we need to have like rules.
Yeah.
You can imagine in our nation without rules, without a constitution, how would the nation run?
Chaos.
Exactly. So even as the young couples, those who are planning to get married, sit down, have something, some sort of rules that we are going to be able to manage our home.
Yeah.
And even now, for those, of course, they're in it and the children are growing, let's minimize. Let's have controls in our homes. The way we expose our children to the media, the social media, electronic media, sometimes it's inappropriate. Worse still, you go to work, leave these children on holiday with their nannies, and then in the evening a child comes and tells you a word and you're thinking, what?
Where did this come from?
Where did this come from? So why can't we be also able to give rules to our nannies?
Yeah.
Because that's your territory.
Yeah.
You have full authority over it,
Yeah.
to restrict and to show that this is not right. I went to, there's a time we had gone to the hub with my family. And this young couple, very young couple, to babysit the child. And you know, some time, I thought it was family time.
Yes.
Alipatiwa simu.
Why?
I watch, you know, those things as they were busy conversing.
Yes.
And you know, you're left to wonder, really?
Because this is outing, family outing.
Family outing, and the baby is actually not part of the family.
Yes.
You keep yourself busy with the media or with the whatever cartoons as you are busy with our own things.
Yeah.
We need to be a unit.
Yes.
We need to be a unit. We need to have restrictions
in
our homes. We are not saying we become authoritative again. Our children will rebel.
Yeah.
Let's sit down as families.
Talk.
Let's talk.
Yes.
Reasonably talk.
Yes.
Understand where we are coming from and where we want to go as a family. We talked initially about setting strategies.
Yes.
Let's involve these children. Even as young as 5 years. Don't think they don't understand.
They do.
They do understand. Why is it that when you do something, after 2 days they come and do the same thing? They repeat the same thing.
And they will almost throw it in your face and tell you, but I saw you doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ama unaambia mgeni, unaambia mtoto, please tell them I'm naughty.
Yes.
What are we teaching these children? And then the media, what are we exposing? Let's have time limits.
Yeah.
With this, it's good. We are being informed. We are becoming aware. Good.
Yeah.
But is it at the expense of the family unit?
Exactly.
No. We need to have rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be intentional.
And the children will understand.
Definitely.
From the word go.
Yes.
But don't do it when they are teenagers.
Yeah.
It will be
it
so
will
hard.
not work.
Oh, my dear.
It may be too late. Even though you said it's never too late.
It's never too late.
Yeah. You'll have a harder job to do
Exactly.
than if you had started earlier.
Yes. So let's start early.
Wow.
Yes.
You know, you've reminded me of a story when you said sometimes parents will tell they'll tell the kid, go tell them I'm not in.
Exactly.
So this one told the child, go tell them I'm not in. So the child says, okay, mom, dad is not in. So the visitor asked, atakuja saa ngapi? Then the child said, ngoja nikamuulize. And obviously now they were busted
Exactly.
there. It was a lie. It was a big lie.
Yes.
So now talking about COVID, parenting in the COVID era, do you feel that this is an excuse because of difficulties in COVID, or has it exposed what parenting styles have really been in existence? Either hands-off, either there's a word you used here, permissive and authoritative. Why I'm asking this is because parents have had their kids with them at a season where they were never with them. So do you feel that COVID is being used as an excuse, or it's just exposing the reality of things? Waswahili husema ukweli wa mambo.
Yes.
So what's your take on this? Yeah.
You know what, Anne?
Yeah.
We've always swept things under the carpet.
Okay.
All the time, under the carpet, under the carpet. You know, a girl becomes pregnant, hata tunampeleka abortion.
Yeah.
Under the carpet. Let's hide it.
Yeah.
We are good family. We are godly family. Let's not have shame. So what happened after COVID came? We were restricted.
Yes.
So what happens? The truth has to come out. We can't live with each other in the same house. So we are learning each other now during the COVID era.
Yes.
That I cannot be able to sit with Wafula in the same house for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'll go crazy.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you are. I'm just not saying from my
Of course,
front.
it's an example.
Example. My children, how can I stay with my children for 24 hours?
Yeah.
It's like they're not yours.
Yeah.
You're even scared.
Wow.
Yeah, every morning was a stress. It was
Yeah.
very stressful, you know. So COVID has just come to expose what was already there. Not that it was not there.
Yeah.
It was already there.
Yeah.
It was only waiting for the time.
Yeah.
And we have seen it.
Wow. But it's not too late.
It's not too late.
I like what you said.
And it's never too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late. We can mend fences.
Yeah.
We can mend these holes, these gaps that we have. We can mend them. If we are able to sit down together as a family, reconcile. You know, sometimes it's ego, pride.
Yeah.
I can't come to your level. We are authoritative in our parenting skills. So watoto lazima wanisikize. If they don't listen to me,
Yeah.
they are not my kids, you
Yes,
see?
yes.
Why can't we use that family communication style that is open,
Yeah.
you know, warm? We are able to converse. We have reasons as to why.
Yes.
Not just imposing.
Yes.
Yes. So COVID has exposed.
Has exposed what's
Yes.
been there.
It's been there.
And of course, we know what you're sharing is really key, but we know it may not apply to all families
Yes.
because there are families, the dysfunctional families you talked about, where the father comes home drunk and everybody runs for safety. Even the wife is beaten, the mother to the children is beaten. The children have to watch their mother being beaten. And sometimes maybe it's a way of these children venting in school. And I'm not saying it's right, but who do we blame in this case? Because we have the parent here being blamed left, right, center. We have the teachers also, and then we have the children. So how can we look for, what is it called? A balanced position, but we can tackle that when we come on break, because we need to go on break, and when we come back, we will be looking at the balance and also the place of therapy for these children, because I believe maybe sending them home is just 10% of the solution.
You're right.
Expelling them, maybe going back 8% because expelling them to where? Which school will accept them?
Exactly.
So when we come back from the break, our guest, Regina Wafula, a counseling psychologist, will be telling us what is the way forward in terms of even some of these children that have been expelled from schools, and maybe no school may be willing to accept them. Is there a way out for this kind of children so that they become better citizens in the nation of Kenya? From us, it's a short break, and then when we come back, we'll be talking about that.
Inspiring, engaging, and empowering local talk shows.
We are looking at the Babylonian system in the house of God.
Our task is to restore the church to operate according to a biblical manual, according to what Jesus said.
The religious spirit helps people to be satisfied with what they have here.
So that when the deceiver comes, he finds nothing of him in us.
International Christian news. Uplifting local music shows.
Kama una hiyo talent, itengeneze kwa mambo ya kiroho. Baki na Mungu.
Classic documentaries.
And become the antelope's worst nightmare.
Discussions on marriage and relationships.
Marriage and bliss, restoring God's order in marriages and relationships.
You need to have patience. You need to have love. And you also need to trust in the Lord.
Welcome back to the Morning Digest, the show that comes to you every Thursday from the Elevate Kenya studios. And today we are blessed to have a wonderful guest on the show today, a counseling psychologist, and especially in the area of children, but also generally to the human population in terms of if you need her, she can always be available to talk to you. And today we are talking about parenting in the COVID era. And one of the things we've agreed on as we've been discussing is that the COVID era has not really turned anything around in terms of it has not made us better or worse parents. It has only exposed what has been there, because we've been able to spend more time with each other as parents, with our children, and children spending more time with their parents. And so, Regina, as we talk about the kind of parenting, we talked about authoritative, permissive, and there's another one that I'm forgetting. But let's talk about our parents and our grandparents. They were not educated. They didn't have TV, radio, all these parenting styles that we see prescribed maybe in some of these internet sites and all. But they really brought up good children in terms of discipline. What really did they do? And I know you were not there then. I'm sure the knowledge that has passed through your mind,
you're right.
You can say something.
Yes.
What is it about them that we can borrow that we don't seem to have?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anne.
Yeah.
You know what, Anne? In those days, like I said before, mtoto alikuwa nurtured na mother. Okay.
Yeah.
After amefika a certain age, the girl is left with the mother to be taught the chores, and the boy goes with the father to hunt and stuff, building the house and stuff, repairing and stuff like that.
Before you continue, they would spend time together.
Correct.
That's what I pick. Go on.
You see?
Yeah.
Now, I've gotten lost a bit.
The older generation.
The older generation.
I'm sorry, less interruptions from now on.
No problem. So you see what? So values were being passed on at a from infancy. From infancy. And the discipline, we used to have what we would call the age set. If you're disciplined by the age set, in the event they are unable to discipline you further, it escalates to the elders. I know that is embarrassing to the community. So there was so much discipline in the community. Now we all belonged to one another. It was a collective kind of lifestyle. Now we have come to individualism. So what do? Me and you, we've been taught ABCD. Maybe we don't have people to hand over the mantle to us. We are informed, we are educated, we are exposed. Why can't we just read and see how best you can be able to bring up your child? Because the way you bring up your children is not the way I bring up my children and somebody else. We said there's no manual. So why don't we be also again intentional? Find out. What works. And you see, okay, in the Bible it talks about the older women taking care of the younger women and the men and the like. I don't think there's that space anymore. Everybody is busy with their many things. I think the church is trying because we have the women fellowship. It's trying to uphold on that. But people are very busy. People are busy even in those meetings. Very few people turn up. You see. So what I think is, because now we are enlightened. We will not say we are sticking to the old. Let's try and look for ways that can work in this time and era. What can best work so that our homes can be stable. Whether with a single parent, we have seen successful children from single parents, either man or a woman. We've seen successful children from this other family that is, we say, ideal. And I don't think there's anything like ideal. It is each one of us taking responsibility and working towards making the best out of for ourselves and to our children. Being intentional. And if you are not given or you're not handed over anything by your parent, seek for help. A counselor will work with you and ensure that you heal. You heal. Because you see, you can't give what you don't have. You can't. It's not possible. So you give what you have. So work with somebody or a pastor. And the best thing, God. Amen. God comes in and heals those wounds of feeling rejected, abandoned, left out. You know, He heals those wounds
Yeah.
so that you're able to give the best to your children.
All right.
Not in an authoritative way where you set rules and they must be followed.
Yeah.
Not in a permissive way.
Yeah.
Just do whatever you want to
Yeah.
do. It's your life
Yeah, it's your
by
life,
the end
yeah.
of the day. Or even abandoning a
Because it will
child.
come back to you later.
Oh, yes.
As a parent.
Yes. Let's have this kind of authoritarian kind of family setup where we're able to have our discussion. And in the long days, they would have those discussions around the fireplace.
Yes.
In a family.
Yes, yes.
Wanakaa chini, wanota moto, shoshana waambia stories za zamani, sijui what did what, and they,
I remember those moments.
You see?
I do.
Yeah,
Our mom would make sure the day school's closed,
Yes.
we're in the next matatu to the village.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are not saying the children go to the village.
Yeah.
We can
Times
make it.
have changed
Yeah,
also.
we
Yeah,
can
we
make
know.
it happen in our homes.
Yes.
Yeah, let's put aside the social media. It is good. It is
Yeah.
informing us and everything else.
Yeah.
But what about you? You and me. What do we want for our children? What do we want for our families?
Exactly.
What do we want?
What kind of a person do you want to produce?
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Yes.
this is your problem.
Yes.
This child is your business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are out running looking for people to mentor, and our
Yeah.
homes, you're not mentoring
Yeah.
our children.
Yeah. May God help us.
May God help us.
Wow, wow. I mean, there's a lot of responses on social media, and thank you to all of you that are watching. Let me read a few comments here. Christine Muse says she's a pastor. She says, let me begin with Beatrice Chuchu, says that this is a beautiful discussion. Christine Muse says the COVID era has helped to expose what has always been. God help us. And she also says spending time together between parents and children and disciplined ed sets to aid in parenting. What you mentioned, that maybe we should go back to the times of ed set, people coming together, having some good discussions,
Yes.
you know, creating those moments. And then David Malombe says we all belong to one another, but now we've become so individualistic. So I think the parents should also allow that. You know, of course, sometimes we know not everybody can fit into your child's life, but these are comments that are coming from the public. We need time with our children. Parenting is not found in writings other than parenting is not found in writings other than the pages of the Bible. I think the contributor here means that my understanding that the Bible is a good manual also for parenting.
Oh, yes.
Wow,
Oh,
a lot of comments. We cannot read all of them. But as we continue, let's talk about corporal punishment because right now, I believe the government outlawed corporal punishment in the nation of Kenya. You cannot beat someone's child. And if you do it at your own risk.
Yes.
Is that not so?
Yeah, it is that
What's
way.
your take on corporal punishment being, because it's like there was a correlation between the level of indiscipline and the elimination of corporal punishment. No authentic study yet, but you can read from the, you know.
Are there statistics about that, Anne?
I am not sure, but
Yes.
it's the teacher's talk, you know, but that's what we call grapevine.
Yes.
But let's not dwell on the grapevine.
Okay.
Let's deal with what's your take as an expert in counseling.
You know what, Anne?
Yeah.
The Bible is very clear, like that person who has said that the Bible is the best manual. It is very true.
Yes.
Spoil a child, spare a road, spoil a
the child.
child. Those are the basic rules about God.
Right.
He gave them to us. We need to follow them, right?
Yes.
But I think if it is excessive, you know, okay, mi nilipigwa na slippers na
Yes.
mshipi.
Yes.
Nilizikula vizuri.
In your days.
Oh yes, in my days.
Yeah.
I've done it to my children, but now they are teenagers. Can
Yeah.
I continue with the same? Not possible.
Yeah.
They're taller than me.
Yes.
They are large.
Stronger, larger.
If we did not start the relationship at a young age,
Yes.
it becomes a problem at teenage years and
Wow.
adult life. And that is why you see somebody, they've cleared school, they've gotten a job, they disappear from home.
Honestly.
There is no relationship. There is no, so corporal punishment, it is only that at some point it became excessive because a person instilling that discipline anaifanya na hasira.
Yeah.
We saw children dying. Not right.
Yeah.
Not right.
Yeah.
And that is why I think the government went to that extent of just stopping it because it was excessive. Why?
Yeah.
If you're being beaten by a drunk teacher,
Yeah.
they'll beat you because they're venting out whatever is disturbing
And they
them.
are under the influence.
Under the influence.
Yeah.
So you see, that is not discipline.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
you're going even beyond.
Yeah.
You see? So what happens? We still need to have rules in our schools. Yeah? Not corporal punishment, but I think there's a way parents, teachers can come up with a system that can best work. Let it not come from one front.
Yeah.
Let it just be everybody involved.
Everybody.
You know, in Kenya, we are no longer living like communities.
Yeah.
It's me and myself
become
and I.
individualistic.
Very individualistic. It is so hurting because even in our own homes, we are so individualistic. How will I gain?
Yeah, yeah. What's in it for me?
What's in it for me?
Yeah, yeah.
It is so sad.
Wow.
I'm not saying we go back to the corporal punishment, but I think to some extent we need to do something.
Yes.
Something, the narrative must change. The narrative must change. Are we disciplining our children?
Yeah.
I don't think we can be able to do it the Western style.
Yeah.
They're way advanced than us.
Yeah.
What can we do from our own setup in our homes? And I'm going to emphasize on this.
Yeah.
We have communities, we have Nyumba Kumi, we have elders, we have the church. The church is mega in Kenya.
Oh, yeah.
Can we use it as an avenue to be an influence
That's
in
right.
our homes so that we see our children walking the right path?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. I like what you're telling us here. And you've preempted my next question.
Okay.
But we will talk about the church, the role of the church.
Yes.
But now there's a parent who is watching and they're saying, I wish I had this when my kids were younger. And I realized my mistake and I wish I could go back in time. But we know we cannot go back in time.
Correct.
So how can a parent who has these kids, maybe 16, 17, and they feel like they really sacrifice for the rest of the world, but not for their own children, what can they do? How can they be intentional?
Okay, we have what we call family therapy.
Yeah.
We bring the family together,
Yeah.
we reconcile the family. After they have reconciled, they are going to be shown the ways in which they can live, you know, in an amicable way in the home. You know, it's not easy.
It's not.
You've abandoned this child,
Yeah.
so to speak. Abandoning means you've never been there, present.
Yeah.
They don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You've never sat down with your child to do their homework. You've never disagreed with your child because you don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Kila mtu anaogopana. Mnaogopa?
Yeah.
Mnaogopana. Why don't we bring ourselves together with maybe a counselor, bring reconciliation so that the heart of that child is healed and your heart is also healed because you have guilt. You have guilt you didn't do the right thing.
Yes.
So that you're reconciled and you start walking slowly by slowly together as you correct your ways and bringing harmony in that relationship.
All right.
It's never too late.
It's never too late.
Yes.
How would you advise a parent when a child, actually, it's always painful when a child says, I can trust someone else, but not my mom, not my dad.
Many.
That shows there's a deep gap. I think a parent should be, ideally, the person that a child can open up to without feeling judged, condemned, or things like that. So how can the trust be regained?
They can still reconcile. You see what? If I was brought up being called those names,
Yes.
you know those names?
Yes.
Throughout my life, I know I'm that. So if you come to me and you're expecting me to open up to you, seriously? It can't happen.
Exactly.
Because you didn't affirm me, you didn't validate me as a parent, as a child.
Yeah.
You're my parent, you should have been there for me.
Yeah.
You're not there to shield me. Look at the issues of abuse in homes. If a child, and many children will tell you, those who've been abused, I am afraid to tell mom, they might beat me.
Yeah.
I am afraid to tell mom, they'll go and tell the perpetrator. You see, because we are very careless on how we handle that issue.
Yeah.
Mtoto amekuja amekuconfidia.
Yeah.
And then you're the first person to run.
Yeah. And they feel exposed.
Exposed, and they don't know the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And unfortunately in our villages we have the kangaroo courts. Leta mbuzi, fungia mbuzi pale. The issue is sorted.
Imagine.
I've said sorry.
And someone's life is destroyed forever.
And that child has already opened up.
Wow.
What happens? Some children run away from home. Yeah. We've seen suicide rate has increased. Yeah. Because that child is dealing with guilt or fear of the perpetrator, because atamrudia too.
Yeah.
Atamrudia.
You know, yesterday was a World HIV AIDS Day. And there was a story I was watching in one of the channels, and this girl who is actually positive, and she was open enough to come on air and say she is positive. Apparently, she got infected when the father died, and she had to sleep with a total stranger as a cleansing rite.
Can you imagine?
And that's how she got infected, and then she got into, she got into the commercial sex work. So the issues that children are facing today, like you've said, they are so deep that there are people that are ignorant enough not to protect their children, but to expose their children.
Exactly.
So not everybody is a believer in the Bible. Not everybody is a Christian. So we again have a role as a church.
Yes.
What is our role as the church to to be a solution to the world? Let me
Be
say
a solution to the world.
Yes.
Even in our own homes, we have issues.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
In our Christian homes.
Yes.
So there's an issue somewhere, you see? But I think what we can do, because the church has marshaled congregants,
yes,
we can start from there. We already have people who can listen to us. Let's not go the ignorant way.
Yeah.
Let's go the informed way. People are very informed out here. So why don't we go the informed way? From the youth, the children in Sunday school. I like what Sitam did when we were doing a safari.
Yeah.
And it was about how do you protect yourself as a child. We had songs for as young as 5 years. Wow. Do not touch, do not touch, do not touch. Wow. Because for a long time I've said, we've been putting, burying our heads in the sand.
Yes.
So mtoto anafikiri, those are not areas to talk about.
Yeah.
No, those are areas we need to talk about.
And probably that saved a child's life.
Oh, yes. Because you tell the child, don't allow anybody to touch, and you show.
Yes.
And the children would repeat. For me, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because I know that 5-year-old boy or girl is safe.
Wow.
They are aware.
Amen.
So the church should come in and not
strongly.
Let's not hide these issues of sexuality. Sexuality. It is reality. They are watching it anyway.
Everywhere.
We can't be ignorant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it openly. Of course, with the restrictions.
Definitely.
With wisdom, so that we are able to change the narrative.
Taking care of the age bracket.
Yes.
Because the language I would use for a teenage class, young adults class, is not the language I would use for toddlers.
Yeah, for toddlers, you are don't touch.
Don't touch.
Don't touch.
Yeah.
So they know which areas people should not touch.
Wow.
So that child akitoka hapa anajua don't touch.
Don't touch.
Yes.
And if anybody tries to touch, tell mom, tell dad.
Yes. And parents should be ready.
Yes.
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 Not going defensively because that child is already exposed.
Yes.
So let us try and understand. Unajua kuna mwingine anapiga mtoto anasema you are the one who started it. Ignorantly.
Yeah. Ama unadanganya. Kwa nini unadanganya?
Exactly. Aizifanya hivyo.
Wow.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
I had a 4-year-old boy who was sodomized. Na alikuwa sodomized na mtu anakula nao kwa family table. You see? So when one night, the boy tried to do something to the mother. Ila alikuwa anafanyiwa. The mother beat the baby. Akamchapa kabisa. That is nonsense. Never do that again. But because the boy is already exposed, what did the boy do? He did it again. That is the time the mother woke up and decided,
what is it?
What is it? It could have been too late. But it was not too late because the child was brought to me with the mother. Because they went to the police station, and the police called me.
Yeah.
And we now started. And they all, I think everybody should be very careful.
Yes.
Atulifanyiwa nini? Can we protect?
Exactly.
So the boy shut down.
Yeah. Because I think you guys have learned a language of us getting information from children without directly asking the same.
And you don't ask children directly.
Exactly.
They'll never answer you.
Yeah.
Because anaogopa.
Yeah.
And then all these adults, why are they
They'll
asking
start
me?
looking aside, like, is that person near?
And even, to some extent, feel guilty.
Yeah.
Pengine ni mimi.
Yeah, maybe I'm to blame.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had to talk to the mother and tell her, stop. Even with the jiranis, don't talk about your son. You're hurting him more.
And I think it's important. There's something I'm learning here. we should be close to our children.
True.
That is the price we
Yes.
must pay as
Yes.
parents.
Yes.
And why I'm saying that is because, again, our lives will always be a book that people read, whether you
Yes.
like it or not.
True.
So one time when my daughter was very young, I think kindergarten, she came with a word that was very obscene at home.
Oh my.
And the neighbor told me, hey, your daughter only shouted word fulani hapa. And I didn't like get shocked, but as a parent, I took it seriously, like Mary in the Bible.
Oh, yes.
I pondered.
All right.
So I knew it cannot be from the house,
Yes.
definitely. It cannot be from the residential area. She had just enrolled in a new school.
Oh.
I went to school. It was that serious.
Oh.
I went to school. I talked to the principal. I told her my daughter came home with funny talk, which is not the case. She couldn't have gotten it in church. So the principal, who was a very understanding lady, thank God, told me, don't worry, I will investigate. So apparently in that class, there was a child who was growing among adults. Our watoto walizaliwa, the gap between the second born and the last born, 16 years.
Whoa.
So they watch this, they talk this, they abuse left, right, center. So this child apparently now would bring this to class. And now they had to take the child and help the child alone. And then I dealt with the situation. And that's how it ended. So that's why I'm saying, as parents, without, like what you said, shouting and judging, can we go slowly and find out what is the root cause of this?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the place of psychology.
Oh, yes.
Because it is important. We cannot finish the show without talking about the place of psychology.
All right.
Because in the world we are living today, I think psychology has been an old area, but it's been accepted recently.
Yes.
Where someone would ask, why would I pay money to go see a therapist when I can go on my knees and pray? Please tell us about why is it important for somebody, if you have an issue as a family, your son, your daughter, you need to see a therapist.
A therapist.
Yes.
You see what, and this is what we want to demystify.
Yes.
Many people think a psychologist or a counselor or a psychiatrist, for that matter, or a therapist, they are there for the mad ones.
Right.
People with issues, disorders, mental disorders, not even depressed, those who are dirty in tattered clothes and they're walking in the streets without shoes, talking to themselves.
Yeah.
That is what they equate a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a therapist with.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, each one of us needs help.
Yes.
At some point, we need help.
Yeah.
Whether a mother, a father, a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as much as we're pushing our children for therapy, what about ourselves? Do we need it? Yes, we need it. And the unfortunate thing is that people, again, think that wakikuja therapy ni kama kwa daktari. Utadungwa, upone.
It's a journey.
Process. It's a journey. It's a relationship that we are trying to bring up here so that it can thrive. You see? So what people need to know is that counseling, psychology, psychiatrists, all those, that bracket. Okay, no psychiatrists, of course, they are there because they give us medication in the event that a situation is extreme or somebody suffering from certain disorders that need to be balanced. That is okay. But when you come and talk with somebody with skills, and I'm going to emphasize, look for somebody with skills, with the know-how, because counseling or psychology or whatever it is can cause harm. Why? We are opening wounds. Because a wound has to be opened, washed, sterilized, everything, ndio ipone. Itoe uzana everything. You see? So at times we open those wounds and leave them open. And that person feels vulnerable. So that's why we tell people, go to professionals so that the process can be complete, and it can bring results, positive results. So counseling is not shindano, itapona saizi. The problems you've had for 20 years are going to be cleared in one day. It is a process. Some people take two sessions, some people take 10 sessions, depending with how severe the situation is. It is a good thing we're embracing. COVID has taught us mental health is real. And it is not only those who wear tattered clothes and talking to themselves. Depression, anxiety, fear, of the unknown.
Right.
Yeah. And so many childhood development issues, advanced childhood experiences that we are, some of us, facing now. Dealing with those, you know, we call them demons.
Yes. Yes.
Those things that we are not able to deal with, to identify, you see.
Yes.
So when you come and you're offered professional service, believe you me, you come out well and healed.
You're a step ahead from where you were.
And then you're able even to bring up your child the right way. Because sometimes unasikia mtu amechapa mtoto mpaka anakuambia I regret why I built that child that way. Ni hasira. Deal nazo.
There could have been a better way.
There could have been a better way. So they've never dealt with their issues. Most people bottle up. Most people shy away. Let me tell you, even coming to a counseling session, people don't speak out.
That's right.
Mtu anaogopa. They don't tell people.
Yeah.
Even their own family members, they do not know. It is healthy. And when you're coming for therapy as an adult, involve your family. It becomes, that support is very important. So that we stop seeing people getting into alcoholism, drug abuse, you know, those kind
coping
of
mechanisms that are not
healthy. They are not healthy. Addictions that are not even, they're out of this world.
Wow, that's all, you know, educative, informative, and I believe you've been following and watching. There's a lot you've learned. I'm learning a lot too as a parent, and you know, you as the viewer, you have a sister, brother, a cousin, a neighbor. You can share the link with them so that even later on they can watch and benefit. One more comment that I can read from Christine. She says that we need to build partnerships and collaborate in trusted, necessary relationships. I believe so. And I think this applies mostly to maybe single parents that you have a boy or boys, because there are people that are left with 3 boys, no father figure. God knows when they might remarry. At that point, I believe you can have a male figure, somebody trusted, and really pray that they become a solution in the lives of your children and not a pain or a source of abuse to the children. And so as we bring this to a close, Regina, I need you to look at that camera and give a parting shot, as well as, you know, one tip on good parenting. What can parents do? I know we've talked about many things, but parting shot, wrap up of all that we've discussed.
Okay, thank you, Anne.
Yes.
Parents, I want us to love our children. Let's take care of our children. Let's be the people who are nurturing these children to be better people in this society. So that we can have leaders who are authentic and with integrity. The other thing, let's love them. Let's show care. Let's show concern. Let us be present.
Remember their birthday.
Remember their birthday. Some don't remember. Remember their birthday. Those milestones a child makes. The child had 200, akona 210. Affirm that child. You've done well. Next time it will be better. You see, let's teach our children the right things in this society.
Amen.
Yes, the right things in this society. Let us not be the ones sitting down to even blame the children. Huyu alifanya hivyo sababu kwao kunakaa hivyo, kwao ni kuwa nani? It is just your home. A child is a product of two
people.
Not one, 2 people. So let us be intentional in bringing up our children. I know we are squeezed of time, but we can create time. Even 1 hour with that child can make a whole difference.
Thank you. Wow. Time is not on our side, but I am so excited because I know, I mean, our second president, President Moore, used to say, a strong family builds a strong nation. And in that case, I would say we as parents, let's go back to the drawing board. Don't forget your child's birthday. Don't forget the slight improvements they make in life. Surprise them until they ask you, oh, so what's the occasion? There are families where nobody remembers the other's birthday. Maybe we need to develop that culture of just being nice to one another and in the process. And of course, it needs a bit of discipline because it is important.
It's important.
And with all that, we will definitely build a stronger nation in the process. And otherwise from us, it's been awesome. May the Lord bless you as we look forward to having this show another day. And maybe, who knows, one of these days our guest will also come back and talk about emotional intelligence. Because as a society, we need to be emotionally intelligent. Otherwise from us, it's goodbye. God bless you. I've been your host, Anne David. The Lord bless you.
Amen. Amen.